Hello everybody, welcome to the Wedding Wellness channel, full of lovely hints and tips for you beautiful brides to be. And what better guest to have than Lincoln Noel, the Maestro, who has been doing weddings, you will not believe it ladies, for 42 years. Lincoln, tell us more.
Good morning, Catherine. And you didn't tell me her name. You're Ellie. Good morning, Ellie. Ellie is the director of this particular production. Yes, I am based here in sunny Northampton. I am a stone's throw from Princess Diana's ancestral home. Yes, that's what I said, Ellie. And I've been doing weddings for 42 years. I did my first wedding when I was a little bit older than Ellie is now. And I was waiting for my new racing bike. And the vicar turned up and said, "Can you play the bridal march and the wedding march?" And I said, yes. And next thing I put my suit on and I was playing for not the prettiest bride in the world. But hey, we all have to start somewhere. And yeah, it's just carried on since then.
That's it. All brides are beautiful. All brides are beautiful.
Yes, they are.
They are. Great. Yes. I know that you'll be tinkling the ivories at some point to show us what you do. So it started with the music.
It started with the music. We had a wedding. That was in 1979. I had a friend who's become quite famous, who got married, who wasn't famous at the time, who asked me to do the reception. And I had never done a reception. This was 1991. So she will be 30 years married in July. And I thought I was just going to play for 45 minutes and ended up playing all night, alternating with a jester, stroke clown, stroke juggler. And so she was also, by the way, 42 minutes, I have to be accurate, 42 minutes late into church. But she does have a sister with special needs, Frances, and her name is Jo Wiley. So Jo has got 4 kids now, and I've been their piano teacher, all of them. And in July, she'll be 30 years married. And obviously, she's very famous and done Radio 1 and is now on Radio 2 and does Glastonbury and did the Ariana Grande concert. And so she triggered a change in direction. And then in 1998, after I'd met a venue that I work at called Whittlebury Park, which is near Silverstone race track, I had a wedding that was just falling apart around our ears. It was supposed to be 2 o'clock, turned out to be 12:30. The opera singer was booked for 2. The music had to change. Someone had to step up. And that day I became a master of ceremonies and an in-the-moment wedding planner. And ever since then, I've been sort of asked for my opinions and my advice on every wedding that I've done. And so I've never been a wedding planner, but I am the person who ends up planning and coordinating. And I've always coordinated sort of civil ceremonies since 96. And every bit sort of drops in because girls always, and boys, ask me questions. And I say, well, this is my view. And they'll say, actually, that's actually a better answer than I got from the designated expert. And because I had more years to draw on as well, I said, well, this works, this doesn't work. And I found sort of more and more that I have an accumulation of knowledge. And I decided when I hit 40 years, I was going to write a book. And in 2019, I was way too busy. And then we had the pandemic. And one day I said to my wife, I'm going to write a book. Now I'm going to write several. So I've started 2 books, and by Christmas, hopefully I'll have finished them. But in the middle, I've decided to do a course, film a course, which I am just completing now, about civil ceremonies.
And when's that going to be available? Excuse you, Ellie.
That's going to be available from June 1st. So
okay, coming up.
Tuesday, June the 1st, officially. It's out available on a pre-launch at a Pre-launch price, get in now. I think it's 70 quid, but you can get it for 45.
Oh gosh, get it.
It's a steal. It's a steal.
Gosh.
There's a lot of content on there. I obviously, being a pianist, I talk about the music, the music in, the music out, the signing of the register, and the music whilst they're gathering for the ceremony.
A lot of people spend a lot of time. It's a really important thing. It's a very emotional thing. There's a lot of attachment to music, and I think
hugely,
having help with the ideas for that and being able to hear you play as well.
Fine, Ellie. Fine.
But yeah, because we were talking before about, you know, keeping kids entertained. Basically, Lincoln is like the name a tune man. You name a tune and he can play it.
Now, you see, I mean, talking about Ellie, we've had lots and lots of flower girls. My daughter was a bridesmaid at the age of 2. That was a really big moment for me, personally and professionally, because having a little girl growing up in your household who's going to be a bridesmaid or flower girl, watching her go through the process and watching her level of understanding was really, really useful, because people underestimate how much young kids are tuned into the stories. The princess meets the prince, and they go to a castle for this fabulous wedding, and they all live happily ever after. And my wife was quite worried about whether Lucy would walk down the aisle or whether she'd throw a wobbly. She knew exactly what to do because she'd watched Daddy talking about it with lots of people, and she'd watched Daddy do it. So basically, she was just going to do what all the other people do when Daddy plays, and that's what she did. And I realized, you know, people worry about kids. Will the kids do this and will the kids do that? And I always say, well, the bride should always talk to the kids, because she's the princess. Children, as we've got children, we know, especially you've got a son, he's done a couple of nativity plays. Children rehearse coming in, going out, standing up, sitting down. They know, once they know what they've got to do, they follow it to the letter. I've never had a child go wrong. The only, you know, children never get the procession wrong. Because if you give them clear instructions, they carry it to the letter. The people who actually go wrong are the adults. It's the girls, the bridesmaids. So kids understand all of that. And a lot of the time, because kids are involved, side of the register, or even coming down the aisle, I've done a lot of Disney, Aladdin, Sleeping Beauty, The Lion King. Moana is a new one. I've got to get that one under the fingers. I always have to play that on score at the moment. And we got Hamilton the musical, and there's so many that, you know, every year my kids are rolling their eyes and saying, but Daddy, that one's so last year.
That was so last year.
And then, of course, we got to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and the wheels go round. Wheels on the bus go round and round, and row, row, row the boat. And, of course, the theme tune to The Night Garden has made many an entrance. You know, the children are transfixed. There's something about that. There's something about that music. Yeah. And does Ellie watches The Night Garden?
She does.
We all watch The Night Garden.
It's such a bizarre program, but you do become transfixed by what's going on, whatever it might be.
The Ninky Nonks and the Pinkie Pops and the Macca Packa. I just think I still watch it now. Don't tell the wife, but there's something very captivating about it. But then, why not?
Yeah,
kids can get lost in that.
Yeah.
And one thing that I do whenever I've got children at Whittlebury, we've got a grand piano, and so the kids are fascinated with the piano because there's no plug.
They're beautiful. Yeah.
There's no plug and there's no remote control.
Yeah.
And they are looking for this remote control.
And the
they are looking for this.
Yeah.
They're going underneath. They're looking, and they're watching me. And then they sort of chat to Lincoln, and I tell a lot of makeup stories about how the the princess was picking flowers in the forest, and I love all of that. And we've got quite a few ballerinas, so I've played a lot of Sleeping Beauty, and especially my flower girls have got long dresses, and they like to twiddle and twirl and prance. And
yes,
there's a lot of mums and dads that go up to me afterwards and say, "Can you come home with us?"
You of course say no. Yeah, it's lovely, and I know that you do a lot of recordings on your Facebook pages. Yes, I know it is, like I say, music's just fascinating, and the fact that the music is coming from this object that isn't plugged in, and that back in the day, that's what entertainment was like, in the tea rooms or whatever, in the lounge.
Everybody had a piano. Children sang to a piano. Now they sing to a tape. So the idea of me playing is a little bit alien for and for some of the 20-somethings. They're not quite sure. They like the idea of it, but they need to have a good 20, 30, 40 minutes with me live to see actually what I'm going to do and what I can play, because their only access is to, put their favorite song in and put piano. And there's some teenager who's reasonably decent playing it on YouTube, and that's the only reference point they've got. So, you've got to sort of sit down and go, actually, it goes like this, or it works like this.
Yeah.
And the big thing with the civil ceremony course is not whether the music is good, it's whether it works in the context. And that's actually key. Because brides have got this big thing in their heads that they're going to come down the aisle to Michael Bublé, and more often than not, especially if they're on tape, they don't get past the intro. And you've got to explain that that's what really happens. I mean, I've been saying on some of my promos, would you, as a rookie, would you put together a West End show? And one of the things that you spend a lot of time doing is rehearsing the musical cues.
Yes.
So if you're going to have to work, if you're going to have to react to a musical situation in a way that is alien to you, with everybody in your world looking at you, you're wearing a pair of shoes that you can't walk in, and a dress you've only worn a couple of times. I mean, West End performers have dress rehearsals, and they have what we call technical rehearsals, which is rehearsals with the crew, the props and the lighting. You put this dress on, you get a face full of makeup, you get a makeup trial if you're lucky, you get a hair trial if you're very, very lucky, and then you're suddenly expected to perform and glide down the aisle like a princess and become totally at ease with the whole thing. And we are regular fish and chips people. We are regular fish and chips people trying to do Hollywood in 24 hours. And people need a little bit of guidance and pointers.
And comfort, just to let them know it's okay.
It's okay.
Well, it's God, it's okay. Oh God, you've got a spot, cover it up. It's not a problem.
It's fine. It's we love the idea of the fantasy, but it's real life. It's us. It's Auntie Wendy over there and Uncle Bob over there.
Might have had a few too many glasses of wine.
I've had too many. And your second cousin, he's got a little bit of flatulence. These things,
during the speeches. I mean, come on.
It happens. The one thing that I've learned in all these years is that your family. They don't turn all that. They don't turn off that behaviour. They don't. They can't do it. Turn it off on like a tap. For that day, they are themselves, maybe with a lovely hat and fascinator on, and an M&S John Lewis suit, and the lads are wearing tails and they've had a shave, or they're wearing suit for the first time, or a shirt for the first time.
Yeah, and it's all uncomfortable, and oh my God, I just want to get it off.
It's a big situation. It's I call it I always call it the royal situation. Everyone's dressed to meet the Queen. They're dressed to meet the Queen. This is their royal situation. This is their big situation. This is their ascot. And the thing is that what people don't realise is that it's a little bit strange. Everybody's going through that gate of strangeness. You know, there's a 1% at the top of the tree who dress this way for dinner every evening or every weekend. But for the rest of us, we're leggings, trainers, Crocs, and Love Island with a Just Eat Deliveroo pizza on our lap, eating with our fingers. We're eating with lots of knives and lots of forks, lots of spoons and candelabras, and will everyone please rise? You know, it's all foreign to us. Just for one day, we pretend that we do this every day. And, you know, from a ceremony point of view, I'm just giving people a few pointers and then saying, be comfortable with it. But I think that people worry about what they're not going to do and what they can't do and what do I need to know and where do I stand. And the whole point is to say, this is what happens, take the information. You now have the information, you are empowered with the information. Everybody knows what they can do, what they can't do, what the registrars are going to allow. The registrars are ordinary people who have grandchildren, children, their daughters and sons have got married, or they're registrars invariably nationwide, 90% of the time are female. There's a few lads out there, so I don't want to do the lads a disservice, but most of them are female, they're of a certain age, and they've lived life and they understand. And they themselves, in a lot of cases, are very, very nervous. They're human beings.
And they've done it before, however many times. But you've also got the celebrants that can conduct.
And then there's the celebrants,
ceremony.
You know, and I do take a section on where celebrants come and how they work, because I know we've here in the UK, there's a lot of don't tell the bride, 4 weddings, say yes to the dress. And people watch all of that and pick up ideas. And there's a lot of little things that are not accounted for, especially with celebrants, because celebrants can't legally marry you, but they can create a fabulous ceremony. Exactly. And you can do the legal thing in a very, very different way. So, you know, increasingly people are doing that kind of wedding.
That's it. And it can be so much more relaxed. It's however you want it, pretty much. And it may be becoming legal soon for celebrants to legally marry people.
Yeah, I mean, up in Scotland, it's already legal for celebrants. Scotland works on a kind of slightly different tack to us down here in England and Wales. It's funny, I always wait till it's rubber stamped before it's happened, because they've talked about doing things for the last 10 years. I've had so many conversations about registrars, about 2 being 1 and all the rest of it, and they've gone back to 4. So I'll wait and see. I know they're talking about getting rid of the register this year. I'm doing actually.
I think it's electronic now. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do my first 2 weddings this weekend, Friday and Saturday. So that's one thing I was going to look at and check before I sign off the course. So you know, if I'm giving the wrong information, then I will sort of reshoot that.
And we're all human, like you say, and we have to double check and make things just right. And yeah, it's what we do. It's what we do. Oh, it's great. I bet you're so excited to get back into doing the weddings.
I am, because I want to. I'm a very physical person. I like to be in the middle of them. I want to feel their excitement. You know, brides are excited, bridesmaids are excited, mums are excited, dads are excited, ushers are excited, guests are excited.
Yeah.
It's a great adventure. It's nice to be dressed up nice.
And I was going to say as well, the live music, there is just something about it that creates the atmosphere. It's just takes it to that next level. Songs can have meaning and evoke feelings, but when it's live, bliss.
Well, I'm bound to say that, but it's better to come from you. People think I'm biased. There are, you know, I mean, I'll talk about it on the course. There are situations where, you know, a piece of music sounds so much better on tape because of the music and what it represents to that couple. But there's nothing like, I do have guests coming up to me after ceremonies and saying, why did they have a tape when they've got you? And I suppose that's something else that I'm addressing on the course, is that sometimes the song is not quite as big a deal as the experience. And, you know, somebody may want to come down the aisle to, I'll give you an example, the theme tune to Rocky or Pirates of the Caribbean. And whilst it sounds great when you're listening to it in the theatre, somebody playing something that's actually as dramatic but suits the piano better, people don't sit 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks later wondering about the music. They don't remember the music, but they remember the experience and how they felt.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's the big thing. People get hung up about the music and the notes. What I've learned to do in the 42 years is to create the experience and trigger the emotions.
And that's it. And you always put those extra little touches in, tease people, make it extra special. You know, I remember one of the first times, well, we've only ever virtually met, but
Yes.
Excuse you, Ellie. You start tinkling away and it's just, fantastic. Fantastic. So yeah. Go on, give us a tune.
Ellie, I'm going to play a little tune for Ellie. Ellie, Uncle Lincoln is going to do a little tune for you. This is one of my favourites, and it goes like this. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is such a dream. Rock, rock, rock your boat gently down the stream. If you see a crocodile, don't forget to scream. Yeah! The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round. The windscreen wipers go swish, 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 swish. The windscreen wipers go swish, swish, swish. The babies on the bus are fast asleep. The babies on the bus are fast asleep all day. And Ellie's on the bus makes too much noise, too much noise, too much noise. Like Ellie's on the bus and make too much noise. Go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Oh, hey.
Awesome. Now, this is a question, and it's going to be hard to choose, but what is your favourite wedding song to play?
Oh, gosh. Okay. I like Here Comes the Bride. I love it. It's still the tune I play the most, and I like the Wedding March. So I'll take those two away. I've got to say my favourite wedding song it has to change because times change, but I do like, oh gosh, you've really put me on the spot here. I like Your Song by Elton John.
Oh yeah.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Yes.
And I love playing Arabian Nights.
Ooh.
Very mysterious.
Shall we finish with that?
That one and The Great Escape.
Oh, yes.
Because nobody's expecting it. Yes. If I'm playing in church, it usually goes down really well.
Yeah.
Whether I'm playing in ceremony, just before the start, the tune just sort of sneaks in.
Love it.
If I've got a groom who looks like he's going to the electric chair, I tend not to do it. I always meet brides and groom beforehand. I mean, all my brides this year I've met on Zoom, and then I meet in person. I like to try and meet them before the day so I can gauge what sort of personalities they are.
Yeah.
Although sometimes people can be very self-assured in front of you, and then on the day you're dealing with a completely different animal. And I've had a few boys that have full of bravado who suddenly go as white as sheets. And it's sometimes it's actually breaks the ice for them if you wind them up and play the theme to Jaws or
Yeah.
The Great Escape, or the one that a lot of people love is when the mother-in-law walks in, the bride's mother walks in, and I slip into "Who do you think you are, kidding, Mr. Hitler?" That one, you know, you have to know that everybody's going to, the key people are going to appreciate the joke, because what you don't want to do is make, I don't want people to feel excluded or picked on. The day is for everybody. Everybody who knows me really well will know that I've always played God Save the Queen for a lot of mothers when they walk in. Yes. Or my favourite is I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. People just love those cheeky little. And of course, there's the whole thing going on with the registrars. The registrars know me very well. The key thing is they know that I'm not going to overstep the line. But there's that whole pantomime thing where, I can hear old people can never whisper. Grandma or great aunt is saying, I think he's going to get told off. There's that kind of rolling of the eyes that the registrars do. I think I played Laurel and Hardy when a couple of registrars walked in once, and people just love all that pantomime. They want pantomime because all we're doing is we're waiting for the bride to come down the aisle. So, Ellie, you okay?
Yeah, she's all right, aren't you? Been a good girl, fairly good. But yeah, I mean, obviously you've kept it entertained, and it has been absolutely lovely talking to you and hearing you tinkle those ivories as always. So yeah, this will be shared on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, anywhere else people may want to see it. And share away those links to what you do. And yeah, anyone in Northampton or anywhere in the UK.
Beyond, yeah. There'll be a few watching this abroad, I know. So and all over the UK and Wales and Scotland and
Bonnie Scotland. Yes.
Bonnie Scotland and Kent and Essex and Lancashire and Lincolnshire and Warwickshire and Oxfordshire and Wiltshire and all those other places that I've corrupted the people. In a nice way, of course, in a nice way.
Absolutely.
And we've got to mention Suffolk because, Suffolk is the greatest county. Ellie and the Queen Catherine Cresswell lives there. So, for all the people from Suffolk, I'm available.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see you. I cannot wait to see you.
Me too.
And right, are you going to say thank you to Uncle Noel, Ellie?
Uncle Lincoln.
Yeah.
That's right. You can call me anything.
Lincoln Noel. Uncle Lincoln.
Ellie.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the wheels on the bus go round and round?
Oh,
she's playing hard to get. Playing hard to get.
I thought, oh well.
And row the boat. Before we were speaking, we were talking about what was it? The Night Garden. Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's been fab. Kids are a very big part of weddings, so it's been lovely to have Ellie here. Ellie, look, kids do what kids do. They bring spirit and life to every situation that they're in. My girls are now 12 and 15, and one day Ellie will be 12 and 15 and rolling her eyes and going, "Daddy, don't kiss me in front of my friends."
Gosh, yeah, and it's going to fly by. So make the most of having you.
But thank you for today, Catherine. It's been a blast. Really enjoyed it.
Me too. And I'm sure we shall see each other very soon.
Indeed.
Thank you so much, Lincoln.